It's really windy here in Salford.
It is, isn't it?
Really cold.
It's going to feel colder than it was yesterday, yes. Quite a strong wind today for many of us, and more rain. It feels like it's been raining every day so far this year, and for some of us, it has been in the southwest of England in particular. But through this morning, rain is spreading its way northward. As I said, just a little bit colder than yesterday, so there is some hill snow around, and as Naga mentioned, windy as well. Yes, Naga Charlie, good morning at home. It's felt like it's been raining for days, and for some parts in the southwest at least, we've had 36 consecutive days of rainfall. So that takes us back through till New Year's Eve, actually, in the southwest, and there's further rainfall today.
We can perhaps look at pictures like this, not from here, and maybe be grateful. Although I must, southwest of England, we've seen areas in Wales as well really hit hard by flooding. Absolutely,
yeah. I want to start with Spain, though, because there's been extensive flooding in Portugal and Spain because we've had Storm Leonardo affecting these areas. And I want to give you some numbers here because it really is exceptional. In the last 24 hours in Andalusia, we've had nearly 600 millimetres of rain in just a day. That's the same amount of rain that London gets in the whole year. So 3 times the monthly average there. Lots of rainfall, extensive flooding, and it is kind of linked into the weather here. You can see from the pressure pattern here, weather fronts continuing to move into Iberia, given that's flooding in Portugal and Spain. But linked in this area of low pressure, continuing to feed us with a lot of moisture, cloud and wet weather as well. So this morning, it's already very wet across many parts. Yeah, don't ask me to tell you what the weather's going to do.
What's the weather going to be like for that
for the bank holiday?
15th of June.
Bank holiday weekend, raining, maybe?
Yes, that'll do.
Maybe.
Hopefully not as bad as this.
Well, you showed us some remarkable pictures from Spain early on of floods and heavy rain.
Yeah.
But this is much closer to home, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah. This is in Cornwall this morning. It's a combination of high tide, strong winds as well. So we've seen a bit of coastal overtopping, but yeah, certainly a pretty wet start to the day in Cornwall. And parts of southwest England have seen, well, 36 consecutive days of rainfall. It just doesn't seem to stop, does it? And that's the case for many of us this morning. A very damp start in Suffolk this morning. Keep your umbrellas and the rain jackets handy.
That's nice.
I've started with rain a lot this morning.
Well,
so
I set you up there saying that's nice, and then you just started to go in with rain.
Yeah, but I thought, let's start with a nice picture, as you said, of something a little bit pleasant this morning, because that's in the Western Isles, where we've had some fine dry weather with some sunshine over the last few days. But for most of us, it has been very wet. And the reason for that wet weather, well, that's to do with the jet stream, which is really high up in the atmosphere. It's a fast-moving wind, and you can see it's been racing across the Atlantic into Spain, Iberia. They've had a lot of wet weather here as well, lots of flooding associated with weather systems moving in. It's that jet stream which powers the weather system.
Hi Ben, and there's not much sunshine around today, but there is more cloud, wind and rain, something we've been well used to over the last several weeks. And it's not just rain, actually. High parts of the Pennines, this is Penistone. We've seen some of the rain turn to snow over recent hours. Otherwise, it's more of the same, really, and that means more wet weather. In Aboyne in Aberdeenshire, last month we had nearly 4 times the January average rainfall, and even though we're only 5 days into this new month, we're already well over our monthly average here. What's coming our way is yet more rain. Same areas, really.
It's been pretty grim out there. Is it going to improve?
I wish I had some better news for you, Alison, but no, it's not going to improve, I'm afraid, not at least for this afternoon. It is grey and it is damp. We've had outbreaks of rain. It's been quite misty and murky. This was earlier on down at Bermondsey. Lots of standing water around as well, and with additional rain, of course, falling on saturated ground, things like this happen. So some localised flooding expected as well.
Hello, good evening. So I'm afraid the rain continues. We've had this set up for ages now. Low pressure approaching the UK, getting blocked by an area of high pressure across Scandinavia. They're not able to go anywhere. They meander around, they die out in situ, and they just deliver a fair helping of rain. And at the moment, there's no real end in sight to this. And also, it does make the detail tricky to pin down as well.
Is here to tell us all about the rain.
Yes, indeed, Sophie. More rain, more cloud, more wind for many of us today.
including here in Aberdeen, where it's actually been the longest spell of weather with no sunshine at all. The last time the sun came out was on the 21st of January. But contrast that to not too far away, the other side of the Highlands. This was the picture on South Uist. Lots of sunshine around there yet again. It's been the northwest of Scotland that's really had the lion's share of the fine dry weather, and this pattern is going to continue. So in Aberdeen, it's rained solidly for the last 20 days, but in Alt Bay in the northwest Highlands, we've had 18 dry days. So why have we got this real contrast in our weather? Well, it's because the winds are coming in from the east or the southeast, driving in all this moisture. Places to the west of higher ground are generally in the rain shadow.
Another wet day, Kate.
Yes, yesterday's sunshine, a distant memory, I'm afraid. It was just several shades of grey. I had to search our Weather Watchers pictures just to find this little bit of colour. That's from Weather Watcher Nicholas in Notting Hill Gate. But elsewhere, not much colour at all, I'm afraid. This was out in Stratford, just grey skies. We've had heavy rain, we've had light rain, we've had umbrellas, paddles, you name it. It's just been very grey today, and it's not really going to change either, I'm afraid.
Temperatures could reach double figures in the south, but otherwise, I think for most of us, we're looking at single-figure temperatures once again. Low pressure stays in charge through Sunday and for much of next week, and that means a lot more rain on the cards.
Alex isn't with me in the studio. You were over at Kew Gardens, no doubt sheltering from the rain, Alex.
Good evening, Charlene. Well, yeah, as you can imagine, the gardens outside have been lapping up the rain. No bad thing for the plants and flowers that are in bloom at the moment. However, inside where we are in the Princess of Wales Conservatory, conditions are a lot more controlled. It's warm and it's humid, and that's because behind me, you might be able to make out 3,500 orchids, and that is ahead of the Orchid Festival, which kicks off this weekend. And it is just nice to be in here and get a pop of colour. Lots of different species of orchid on display as we head through the next couple of weeks, and with the Chinese theme perfect for Chinese New Year, which is just around the corner. It has been oh so great outside of here, up and down the country. Let's get a check on the satellite and radar picture. This is the 3 o'clock snapshot, which certainly shows how grey and wet it's been. Just want to point out that Aberdeen has seen 0 amount of sunshine hours in the last 14 days, and that may not change for the next couple of days at least. Let's take a look at the warnings which have been in place throughout the course of today and roll on into Friday. Well, of course, we've got that snow warning, which is across the Pennines. That does expire at 3 o'clock in the morning, but we are going to be keeping these rain warnings as we head through the course of Friday, especially down towards the southwest. We're not talking about huge amounts of rainfall, but the ground is so heavily saturated, there could well be more localised impacts. Right, let's get into the forecast right now. Well, as we head through the rest of this week, it stays firmly unsettled. There's going to be further outbreaks of rain. The one positive is that it will be slightly less cold across northern parts of Britain, so those temperatures up by a degree or so as we head through the next couple of days. Well, I'm really sorry I don't have brighter news for you as we head through the next few days. As I say, just sparing a thought for Aberdeen, which has been so dull and dreary over the last few days. In fact, if you want a bit of brightness, head to Western Scotland. That's my advice, Charlene.
Right, I'll be jumping on a plane forthwith. Thanks very much, Alex. Finally tonight.